Hi guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we're talking about episode 6 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, entitled Lost in Translations. We have a trailer and some promo photos to have a look at. This episode looks like it's going to be the sort of suspense thriller / kind of horror episode of the season. Looks like it's got some pretty creepy moments in there, bit of tension, and we also get the return of Kirk. And this will be the first time I think we see Kirk as Kirk is in the Prime universe, because even though he's appeared twice before in the last episode of season 1 and also in that time travel episode we saw a couple of episodes back with her and Latta doing the little exploits in the 21st century, those were all alternate timeline moments. So this episode appears like we're going to be getting Lieutenant Kirk and not an alternate kind of version of Kirk in a different timeline. So I'm going to be very interested to see how Paul Wesley plays Kirk in this episode, knowing that it's meant to directly be a connection to William Shatner's Kirk in original series. Okay, so first we're going to have a look at the trailer for the episode, take a look at that, break that down, then we'll take a look at some of the promo photos and see what they have to offer. Okay, let's check out the trailer.
We found evidence of sabotage.
Sabotage. Starfleet officers aren't supposed to randomly hallucinate.
This is very real. You aren't imagining it.
Captain! You have to shut down the station. It's a matter of life or death.
Contact Starfleet. We're being attacked by an enemy.
Okay, so let's have a look at some of the shots from the trailer bit by bit and see what extra information we can pick out of this trailer and see what we can learn about the episode. In our first shot here, we see Pike and a security officer in the background there, walking down the corridors of the Enterprise with phasers drawn. There's obviously a massive threat on board the Enterprise at this point. Here's a really scary shot of a zombified Starfleet crewman. Uhura is clearly experiencing these bizarre hallucinations, or what she thinks are as hallucinations. And there's some pretty scary images here. We've got crewmen in the hallways, dark lighting scenes with injuries, pools of blood on the ground. We've got massive lacerations to the throats of crew members here lying on the floor dead. It's almost like a Gorn attack. This guy here looks like he's been shot or slashed several times, cuts across his face. This seems like it's going to be a pretty creepy episode. This shot, we've got the Enterprise in the foreground with what appears like a space station or some sort of strange vessel here. It reminds me a little bit of the wing structure on Sisko's Solar Sailor, or even Count Dooku's starship from Attack of the Clones, with that big kind of solar wing. Definitely seems like it's going to be the Kirk and Uhura team up in this episode. Obviously, last few episodes we got the Kirk and Latta team up, but it appears like these guys are going to be buddies in this episode. Got this massive shot here of the front view screen being blown out and our crew members being sucked out into space as Uhura looks on with an incredibly shocked look on her face. Okay, now it's time to check out the promo photos for this episode and see if they shed any more light on what's going down in this next episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Alrighty, so first up we have a shot of Uhura here. She's packing a phaser pistol and a flashlight there. This is obviously, a particular posture that we see quite often in present day military and armed services and so forth, where they hold the pistol and the flashlight on kind of opposite sides of their wrists or whatever. But we don't tend to see this too often in Star Trek. The flashlight that Uhura is holding there seems very, present day in itself. Obviously there's been variations in the appearance of flashlights throughout Star Trek. In Next Generation they tended to have the flashlight, the sort of square hand-held ones that they would hold in their hands, much like this kind of thing. Voyager even, they had the two light things on their wrist and everything. So there's been a pretty broad selection of flashlights we've seen Starfleet use over the years. Next we see Kirk and Uhura here. Kirk's on his communicator. It looks like exactly the same scene as the last shot, except the lighting is slightly different. So looking at the objects in the background of this scene, it looks like these two shots are from exactly the same scene, even though the lighting has changed a little bit between photos. Be interesting to see the relationship evolve in this episode between Kirk and Uhura, knowing that obviously Uhura is going to continue to remain as communications officer on board his version of the Enterprise. In our next photo here, we have Uhura standing on the edge of a lake. It looks like we've got a very grassy section in the foreground there. I'm guessing this is a reverse angle on that shot we saw in a couple of trailers a while ago, which sort of showed a crashed shuttlecraft on a planet, there's sort of a city in the background, and it appearing like Uhura is essentially by herself. Here we get a photo of the two Kirk brothers. We've got Sam Kirk and James Kirk in the same frame here. Looks like they're in some sort of laboratory or whatever. We've got skulls and looks like spiders in jars and a whole bunch of sort of different chemicals and things on display in glass cabinets behind them. This doesn't appear to necessarily be somewhere on the Enterprise. I'm guessing they're in another location here, not on board a starship necessarily. Perhaps this space station they refer to in the trailer could be the destination for this particular scene. Here we've got a shot of Kirk in the mess hall there. He's sitting at the bar. Looks like he's got a scotch or a bourbon or something in a glass there in front of him, and I can't quite tell what he's been eating, but it looks interesting on that plate to his left. But it looks like he's been in a bit of a dilemma about things. He looks like he's got a bit of pressure on him, a bit of stress going on, and obviously the stripe there on his sleeve indicates that he's the rank of lieutenant. This will be the first time we obviously see Kirk in his lieutenant capacity. Not as a captain in Strange New Worlds. Here we get a shot of Nurse Chapel. She's playing a game of 3D chess. I'm not sure who with, but she's looking pretty happy. Maybe this is a result of her business with Spock in last week's episode. But yeah, I'm guessing that she's looking happy. That things are going all right maybe for Spock and Chapel. Here we get a shot of Pelia. It looks like she's in some kind of engineering section. Looking at the sort of window behind her, I'm guessing potentially sort of nacelle control or something. We did get that sneak peek scene where they look like her and Una were in some sort of nacelle control room there. So this could be another control room in that same environment from the looks of things. Obviously, we know there's some sabotage going on. So yeah, interesting to know how that's all come about. And we get another shot of Pelia. This time it appears like maybe she's in a shuttlecraft, it would appear like. Whatever the case it is, I think this episode we're going to be seeing a little bit more of Pelia. We haven't had too much Pelia in the preceding episodes. We've had a few little scattering scenes of her involvement, but nothing really we could sink our teeth in. So hopefully we're going to get to know our chief and engineer a little bit better in this episode of Strange New Worlds. So there you have it. I hope you've liked this look at the trailer and the promo photos for this upcoming episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, episode 6. Lost in Translation. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please don't be shy to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. If you haven't checked out my merch store, heaps of cool stuff there. Hoodies, mugs, caps, stickers, you name it. Lots of Star Trek, lots of sci-fi to appeal to your every desire. Check out some stuff. It's always on special, always bargains and sales and stuff going on, and help support the channel as well, so much appreciated. Guys, I'll be back very soon with the next video. I'll see you soon.